This is the official Lakers podcast.
Well, folks, here he is, Jared Dudley, among the newest Lakers. Jared, you're joining us here after practice, sitting in front of your own jersey, which is splitting Anthony Davis and LeBron James, which was the symbolism I was going for.
The new big three.
The new big three.
Yeah.
We're here, on and off the court.
Yeah. Now, how you doing, man? You good?
I'm doing great, man. Happy. It's always better to get a win. But just, just happy with the process because it's going to be ups and downs. And, you could see how first half we've been struggling the last couple of times. We're trying to figure it out. Preseason was kind of a little rocky going to China, not really getting the practice time in. So for us just to, to have to watch the film, learn from our mistakes and come in and then make the adjustment second half, man. It's always just nice to see us grind it out because we're going to have some blowout. So it's nice just to go through the process.
All right. So we're going to get back to basketball maybe in a little bit, but we want to have a little bit of fun with you.
Got you.
So you were born in 85. Is
85.
That correct? All right. I'm an 81, baby. Aaron,
Okay. We're all basically the same age. I don't need to reveal my actual age. Check the gray and the back. We're all close.
Right around
we're all
there.
similarly aged.
So we all have, we all are in some ways kids of like the late 80s, but especially the 90s.
Okay.
And so the most important question to me in the 90s was Tupac or Biggie. Now you're from San Diego.
Yes.
So I have a guess, but please can just answer the most important
Tupac
question.
fan. Huge Tupac fan. For one, I have an older brother. And so my older brother is obviously 7.5 years older than me. And so growing up with Tupac, and I actually hit it at the right time where it was I shouldn't say right time, it was when the hype, when it was East Coast versus West Coast, you had to pick a side. I think the Vibe magazine just came out, both of them. But Biggie for sure, but Tupac was such ahead of his time. Movies, poetry, acting. Obviously it's a shame for both of them to pass away, but I was definitely more of a Tupac guy.
All right, yeah, Aaron, you and I think share that.
Yes. 100%. So we talked a little bit about music, and I think he has another music question for you in a second, a comparison. But we saw your fit. Everybody cares about the fit when they're walking into the arena. So we saw yours yesterday, which you look great.
Oh, thank you.
But did you participate any of those? They could be called unfortunate fashion trends in the 90s. Like I had guessed. Green jean denim overalls. You had to wear one flap down.
Yes.
Had the Malcolm X, the black sweatshirt with the silver X on it.
For sure.
The cross colors. You do any of that?
For sure. I've definitely had my FUBU.
Oh, okay.
For Us, By Us. We had that. I was with the Rockaware when Jay-Z had it. The big thing I remember, if you look at it now, would be terrible, would be, what is it called? The velour sweatsuit.
Oh, yeah.
It was the velour head to toe. It
Yeah.
actually came back a little bit. And then the jean, the Snoop Dogg jean fit, when you like the dog pound with the, navy blue on navy blue. I did that. But you know what? It's kind of back in style now, which was the hit back then was Tommy Hilfiger. Now, Tommy Hilfiger, he said a little kind of remarks so the black people stopped wearing his gear, but now it's back on. So,
little Saturday Night Live. Right.
Yeah, I'm from suburban Minnesota, and so Tommy Hilfiger was definitely big in my high school.
Huge.
Also.
Huge.
And Abercrombie and Fitch was the other thing. But then did you have a pair of Jabot jeans?
Jabot jeans I did.
Okay.
I did
you had to have those.
Red Monkeys. When Jay-Z had them. Ivizu.
Oh, yeah.
When Jay-Z had the Ivizu.
Okay. How about this? Starter jacket.
You know what? That's more my brother.
Oh, you're from San Diego, though. So I'm just thinking.
You're talking about the satin, right? The satin one.
Yeah, you're talking about the Raiders.
Yeah, the satin.
That was a big one. Yeah, that was more my brother.
I just know it's so warm in San Diego. That's all I'm saying.
The thing about people from San Diego is we're spoiled because if it hits 60 with a little, the ocean breeze, people wear a jacket. They had the hoodies and stuff like that.
So,
wait, Aaron, hold on. What was your starter jacket?
I had a San Jose Sharks. I'm from San Francisco. I had a San Jose Sharks.
Okay, nice.
A little teal and black.
That's nice, yeah.
And I think I actually had a Dallas Stars one also because I like the black and the green and the
that's
gold.
hurtful. That's hurtful. Again, Minnesota.
Right, left,
Stole the North Stars,
right.
not cool.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I had Buffalo Bills and families from Buffalo. This is too much information out for people.
Yes.
And Notre Dame. It was the team with the gold helmets on NBC.
I don't think Star. I think of the Raiders.
Yeah.
I think of the Red Wings.
Yeah.
The ones that just pop out a little bit more, but they're all were fly though.
I also had a Cal. Shout out to my California Golden Bears. So I had a Cal one too.
Okay.
So you're speaking of San Diego, growing up in San Diego.
Yes.
How do you get from San Diego to a place that the weather isn't quite as nice?
Sure.
How did you make the decision to go to BC?
Man, I think it's just my whole story in general. Always been the underdog, under recruited. Didn't have San Diego State come into my senior year at the end, even though I was in their backyard. The top school at that time that recruited me was Creighton, who was just top 25. But Corver and those guys went on an NCAA tournament run. They had like 5 seniors leaving, and then St. Mary's. So for me, I kind of was ahead of my time, and it was very rare for kids in California to go to prep school. So I don't turn 18 till July at that time. So you know what? I'm gonna be, instead of me being the youngest senior, let me be the oldest. And I was going to declare for prep school, and BC was recruiting a little bit, but I think just fate how it worked out. They had 2 upperclassmen get booted out, and their top incoming freshman transferred because he got homesick. And so I'm there in August, getting ready to go to prep school. I do basically I go visit them at August 23rd. They had a scholarship. I was I cleared academically. I enrolled September 2nd. Boom. Rest is history.
So my first year working in the NBA was in Minnesota with the Timberwolves and the Rhino, Craig Smith.
Yes.
Was there. And I wondered if there was any kind of connection there. Was there like a visit?
Huge connection.
He's from LA, obviously.
Yeah, no, I had 2 years with Rhino. Yeah, he was our best player.
I just meant like the decision, the whole thing.
Oh, for sure. Okay. No, you look at it because, I'm someone kind of a, IQ person in the game. I looked at the roster. They didn't make the tournament the year before. Craig was a first team all conference, him and Melo at that time. And so I saw myself, they had a senior who was the captain center. They had a returning freshman point guard who's going to be a sophomore. So they really needed a 2 and a 3. And their second recruit was a shooting guard from California named Sean Marshall. And so I played small 4. I'm like, hey, we got, a point guard, myself, Craig, and then this upcoming freshman shooting guard. Hey, we can build on this. I saw that my mom said academically, Jared, if NBA doesn't work out, you have a degree from BC and top 30 institution, you'll be good for life. So I signed up.
And here we are, just a few years later now. You're still doing your thing at the NBA level. Well,
here.
As I mentioned, we're going to get back to basketball. I got to get you back with a couple other 90s questions, though. Okay.
90s.
Did you watch any of these programs? Double Dare, Saved by the Bell, or, and I feel like, let's see, 90210, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Any or all?
All of them except for the first one. I didn't do the double dare.
It's like the Nickelodeon show?
No, I didn't do that.
Like
Saved by the Bell. Little competition show.
No, I didn't get one. Saved by the Bell for sure. Fresh Prince, that's an automatic.
Zach Morris or AC Slater?
I was Zach Morris.
Correct.
I was a Zach Morris guy. He was the
right answer.
Come on, he was the fly one.
Yeah, that's right
AC was cold. He had the muscles, but Zach had all the girls.
8-pound cell phone.
For sure.
Yeah, he had to. All right, I'm gonna list some movies now. If you could rank these in order from the 90s.
Here we go, ranking them.
Home Alone.
Okay, classic.
Goodfellas.
Whew.
Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Good Will Hunting.
Ooh.
Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
Titanic.
Wow.
How would you rank those? If you need to
see. I got this one. He gave me about 10 movies.
The visual.
Yeah. Okay. Out of all these, I'm going to put Home Alone at the bottom.
Oh, Kevin. Man,
what is because you're giving me Titanic's a classic, Goodfellas. So I'm going to go with, for me, Goodfellas number 1. I'm going to go with, Titanic number 2.
The Titanic hit you in a certain way.
It's classic. Boys in the Hood. I mean, Boys in the Hood should be in this category, but Boys in the Hood is definitely always in my top 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Forrest Gump, then Good Will Hunting. Great acting, all these people. And then obviously the Home Alone. Home Alone, it's Christmas time with the kids.
I'm a little irritated Trudell didn't include The Princess Bride as one of the options, but...
That was one of your...
Oh yeah.
That's a solid movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think for me, I probably would take Good Will Hunting out of that.
Good Will Hunting's great action.
Like the way that that's like how you feel about your friends, right? It's the most important thing in your life.
Boston type movie for sure, right?
Yeah. Did you enjoy your time in Boston?
Loved Boston. Yeah. Now you're in college. I don't know if people know out there, Boston has the most colleges in the country, all in one area. So BC, we had BU, Northeastern, Harvard, MIT. This is all within 2 or 3 miles. So Suffolk, I was more other people's campuses. I was at BC in my upperclassmen years.
There you go.
So we've been talking about, kind of growing up, talking about the 90s.
Yep.
A little bit into the 2000s. Okay. Any chance we see the cornrows again? The straight backs? Will they be making
I wish I could grow my hair. I wish I could.
I suffer from the same affliction.
I'm getting ready to be Kobe, having the Kobe cut here in a couple years. No, I wish people don't understand the reason why I grew my hair on Boston, because I went there from the West Coast to the East Coast. I didn't even have a barber. I didn't even have anyone. So I just grew my hair out. And everyone knows about Boston, they have the Cape Verdeans, the Jamaicans. So I had girls that were braiding my hair, would press it out, would braid it, have it looking good. And so I just kept it. And once I got to the NBA, it was within a year I cut it off. Quick.
I mean, we saw it with the old Bobcat jerseys, those old orange Bobcat,
sure.
the orange and gray and dark blue and light blue. Those were pretty hideous.
I'm glad Jordan did it right and rebranded again, got the Hornets back. It's only fitting because that was it was an interesting year. For me, it was the perfect year to have your first year, your rookie. For one, I got to hang out with Michael Jordan. He was there a lot to get in, and Charlotte was just kind of building. And then from there, going straight to Phoenix, that was like the real NBA. The Suns, Nash, Shaq, Amari, and then it opened my eyes up to a lot of stuff.
You have a nice pair of threes on at the moment. I just thought, as you mentioned, Jordan. So
you get the Odells. Look at you.
Yeah,
come on, man. Come on, Forces.
I thought about wearing the beige, the Timberlake three. Thought about wearing those.
Those are nice.
Just go with the khaki, obviously. Now, so
what's your
Tarjay? At what point do you get really like? Were you ever PJ Tucker, sneaker obsessed, or are you just kind of like, okay, I got some money now. Like I wanted LV shoes when I was a kid. I'm going to buy some. What's your sneaker story?
So my sneaker story was basically obviously single parent household. Mom couldn't really afford it. Like most athletes is how it happened. And then you start hitting high school, college, and Nike and Adidas want to send you all these shoes. Now they send you more of the shoes to wear in games, not to really hang out and wear. And so it really got me to the NBA where once I signed my Nike deal, they basically said, hey, you got $25,000 allotment that you get to spend all year. And it's basically free money. And so knowing me, not knowing how to spend at this time, I'm buying two of the same shoes. So if I cuff it, so I'm over here just going every white Forces, blue Forces, Jordans.
One to wear and one to store.
Fast forward to now where it's more family and friends. I might use out of $25,000, $1,000. It's more for, hey, kids, family, that, and you try to give out to others and stuff like that. But PJ Tucker is one of the worst best friends because I had him in Phoenix. I had him in Phoenix for 2 years. And then when I came back to Phoenix, he was there. And this guy, I mean, he was a sneaker king before there was even a sneaker king. And so he's helped me out. He's put me on. So now I do spend a little bit on some sneakers here and there. But, I mean, to the point is you got to show off a little bit, but not too much. I mean, I'm not here trying to spend a car payment or a house, a mortgage just to get some shoes.
Yeah, it's kind of like, if you think about marketing, and one of the most successful marketing engines, probably like Disney, right? It's in your head. You grow up with it. Every time you see something somewhere. That's how my brain works now with sneakers.
Yeah.
And if I see a pair now, and now there are all these apps that just make it's just there for you.
Yes.
And now look, it's one thing where you have the Nike contract and you can go shopping, and you've earned that benefit by being one of the best 300 basketball players in the entire universe, in the entire world. So now you've earned that right. For the rest of us, we kind of look out there and like, I want those.
Everyone has their own little itch. If it's, women in jewelry and bags, if it's guys, traveling. And so I have one of my boys' shoes. He, to this day, when a new Jordan comes out, he going to be first in line. And I was that when I was younger. I'm not that as much as I was now. Sometimes it was the designers, the Gucci, Louis Vuitton. Now it's the Off-Whites and the trendy Nikes. And for me, it's fashion. We have fun with it. It's good to clown. Some people might have loved the outfit yesterday. They might have clowned. And that's what fashion is because, hey, trust me, I clown Rondo's, his Japanese suit the other day on the bench, so it's all good to have a little fun.
Who's the worst dressed on the team? Who you talking the worst about?
It's so early right now because we only have preseason. People have been wearing sweats.
Right.
But that Rondo suit right now is the one that's in my head. It's definitely in my head right now. I like Kuz's style, but Kuz he gonna push that limit. So the thing about Kuz. Yeah. But you know what? When you're in LA, you better come right. I'll tell you one thing.
So you mentioned Rondo. It made me think. So he and Danny Green were both high school quarterbacks. You must have been good at some other sport. What was your other?
Sure.
Yeah.
No. I would say this. I mean, I play everything growing up: baseball, soccer, football. But once I hit high school, even junior high, I just concentrated on basketball. Okay. But I remember I could play baseball with the best of them. Football, my mom was like, at a certain age, tackle, you're not allowed to do it anymore. So for me, it was baseball, soccer, and then eventually it was just strictly basketball. I knew as a kid I wanted to be in the NBA. I focused all of my attention, and I don't have any LeBron James wide receiver stories catching 4 or 5 touchdowns. All state. But no, basketball was my itch.
You talked about coming up and wanting to go to the NBA.
Yes.
And also before talked about not having single parent family, not having a lot. Yeah. One of the things that I really enjoy that you do, you're interactive with people on Twitter, and you've been giving out a lot of tickets to, and you said you've done this your entire career. Talk about that a little bit and why it means so much to you.
Yeah, I mean, my first NBA game was my recruiting visit my senior year. I went to go St. Mary's. I told you that was the one school. I went to go watch the Warriors play Utah. Karl Malone. It was like one of the best experiences for me. And I mean, what better? My son loves going to the game. My daughter's in the back in the playroom. She never even comes out. But my son, just to see his smile, like he talks about our team like he's never seen an NBA players. He comes here all the time. And a lot of the times on most teams, I bring him in the locker room. After wins, I bring him in just to be a part of it. But for me, the reason why I just do it is just because, for the less fortunate. And this is something that's easy. Sometimes they're free. Sometimes you pay for them. I paid for them yesterday for fans. And then I'm not just saying it because I'm with the Lakers. Lakers fan base is the best fan base I've been when it comes to being hardcore. Tattoos, murals, everything they have.
They're out there.
They're out there strong. Jersey was sold out online. So for me, to give away these free tickets, and so I look differently. If it's military, college students is broke. It's no rhyme or reason. Whatever I like to see on Twitter that day, and for me, it gets closer to the fan base and connect a little bit.
Give out that Twitter handle so people know where to.
Jared Dudley 619.
Pretty easy.
It's pretty easy, and hey, I read 90% of them. After games, sometimes it's hard, but I definitely try to show love.
Hey, how old are your kids?
My daughter's going to be 10 tomorrow, so you have 10, 7, and 5. 10, and I'm done, y'all.
Oh man, I've got twin 5-year-olds.
You might be done.
Give me some parenting tips, man. What's coming up between the age of 5 and 10, where your daughter's
patience, which I struggle. I mean, it's different when you have girls instead of boys. Girls, it's more for loving. You want to make sure they're the beautifulest, safest. Your son is the opposite, tough. Stop crying, work hard. It's two totally different styles, and you have them all there. But it's funny when you're the parent, you get to raise them how you want to. So for me, we make fun of each other, we clown. I want to give them all the tools. So when they get to high school, junior high, there's gonna be one bully, and I equip them to be able to deal with everything. And so that's how it is on Twitter. People clown me, and so for me, clowning was growing up. It was a fun act. Now you got to be careful. It's bullying. It's all this, and so I never say never start it. But you can end it. That's my motto as a parent.
Do you any of your kids have you as not their favorite NBA player? Or are you 3 for 3 with everybody? Daddy's
I'm 3 for 3, but my son's definitely lying. My son loves LeBron. He loves all the kids. But you know what? I will say this: during the playoffs, when I was in Brooklyn, we lost. He had a Giannis jersey, LeBron, Kyrie, and Dame. Whoever was playing, he had that jersey on. He's a little bandwagon. Yeah, for sure.
No, that's cool though. You mentioned earlier there's. I guess it's a stereotype for somewhat of a reason, but there's the single parent household that's exists out there in the ether. But I see so many guys in the league now that have kids that are just completely going hard in the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's two different ways. It's two different ways. When you're less fortunate, you're thinking about how ways can I get out of your situation? As you're thinking of, hey, how can someone who's African American, how can they become rich? Yeah, you have rapping, you have acting. Academically, you're smart enough to get the college degree to be able to help that and change your family thing. And so for a lot of us, it's sports, especially in the black race. And so for me was, hey, if I can't get that, how do I get it myself? How do I not need anyone for help? My mom, who's definitely, we weren't poor. We were just middle class. She gave us just enough to be able to have, but not nothing that, made you spoiled. And so now you have that class where, hey, you're just so hungry, you have to go get it. And it means, and then you have the opposite. Hey, we have everything. But now I'm harder on my son than my mom was with me. I'm telling him how it takes. I'm out there training him. So instead of me having to go, my mom have to sleep in the car and watch practice, I'm training him. I can put him with the right coaches. And so during the game, he listens to the coaches, but he's also listening to me where, hey, pass the ball, get good habits. And so that's why you see guys like Steph Curry, they're around the game and they have a love for a different way.
Yeah.
Well, I would get a little bit of basketball because you were brought up, and we talked about your time in Phoenix and your time in Charlotte, and you've been around a lot. There's a lot of new guys on this team, yourself included. Mm-hmm. Is it even possible to build that culture this quickly? Because the Lakers, it feels like there's some good chemistry already. How do you build that?
Man, organically. It can never be forced. And luckily enough, which I've said in other interviews, I'm pleasantly surprised. LeBron James' leadership skills on a whole nother level. And I'm someone to not sugarcoat anything when it comes to stuff that we need to do. And sometimes it started him starting a group chat with us, keeping us all involved in the summertime, starting the Vegas trip. We got to bond and really hang out. And most people might think of Vegas and partying. It wasn't even like that. It was more dinners, breakfasts, going to the gym, getting to know each other. It's just, clowns, having fun. And even in China. Even though we didn't do a lot, we did team dinners. We saw, the whole people mob them in the mall. It's just stuff like that, gambling on the, spades, boo-ray gambling, and so you just get the camaraderie. So it takes a little bit, but I think this road trip will be huge. I know there will be stuff together, but I think it's organically, and you see people already hanging out and talking freely.
Jared, last thing for you now. You're somebody that's good at telling us about the way that basketball is played.
Yes.
So you've seen this team. It's early in the season, but what you can probably project at least some.
Yeah.
You know what the rest of the league looks like. You've seen the rest of the teams play to some extent. Where does this team have to get to? How close do you think that you are? And what encourages you about the start?
This team has to get to an identity offensively of how are we going to play? Are we going to be a fast-paced push the ball? Are we going to be throwing the ball into Anthony Davis in the post? We have to find our identity where how do we get easy baskets? We know LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to give us 25 plus. The bench right now, we've had LeBron come in the second unit. There's going to come a time when we have an identity where LeBron's not going to be in the second unit. Anthony Davis, it would be just the bench. And so right now, coach is basically trying to keep one of them two on the floor. So while we figure it out, we're still getting wins. Our versatility, Caruso not playing in the first half, comes in second half. Anthony Davis starts at power forward, second half starts at center. So the versatility in them is going to change again in a couple of weeks here shortly. Kuzma's going to come back. And Kuzma's a huge piece for us to want to get to the championship. Rondo. So for us, what's our identity offensively? Because defensively, it's already set. We're physical, we rebound, push the ball. And so it's going to take some time with that. And it might take 2-3 months, but you can still win games while you're trying to figure that out.
That was a strong summary.
Yeah,
I like that. I'm going to use that in multiple different platforms.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Jared Dudley, man, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Happy to have you here in Los Angeles. So we really appreciate your time.
Jared Dudley, 619.
Check it out.
Me.